All right. Okay, so I've been working on a lot of features. I actually have a lot to say about the about it. Maybe I'll put it in this video at the end. But just yeah, well, it's all important. I will put it in this video. But first things first. Okay, if you go to the Phiclub, then you will see. Well, I cut this off, but let's put it all in there. So you see the new button, conversation, which I haven't clicked, only my development. Hopefully it works online, Jesus. Okay, so conversation. Once you're logged in, I don't think you have to be logged in actually, currently. And what it does is it takes the videos, any videos that someone has listed the recent activity of the group, and I'm automatically on what's called a cron job, listing the discursors and discoursers. So that's these two groups right now. Discursors. There's this group, and people could be caretakers if they want. I am right now, and I'm not being a particularly good caretaker. You can PM me or email 5vidtool if you want to be added to these. So these are automatically being and then what happens is when you do show recent activity of any group, and these ones are automatically once an hour checked, it's put all of these videos you see in the database. And if they are replies, and when you click conversation, it should show the latest videos that are replies to people. So here is Graytex replying to, Graytex replying to Heron Church. Is hard to tell because Heron Church's video has an icon of Graytex replying to, again, Graytex. So that's right. So this is Graytex replying to Heron Church. Heron Church replying to Graytex. Hannibal Barca replying to Daiwada Man. This is Barklord has replied recently to Inspired I Am, who was replying to Da Spook. Here's a Russia Today thing replying to Russia Today. That's kind of, probably want to filter that kind of stuff out. Heroin Church replying to The Amazing Atheist. Oh, great. So The Amazing Atheist got sucked into the database. Great. And his name's too long. Bastard. Okay, Sarah Hahn replying to Greg Monroe Vlog. Conference Report replying to Happy Cabby. Oh, that's interesting. What the fuck? Okay, To Be Serious replying to D-Land and Cole. Heroin Church replying to Warbles On A Lot. Piero replying to Barklord. The Jesus replying to Jerry. Don't know who that is. Here's a string of them where Thou Art That replied to Thou Art That to Thou Art That to Professor Anton. So that's another thing I'll probably want to collapse that kind of thing down. And so on. So, okay, check that out. Now, the other issue going on here is that Google has changed their pricing model. So I'm still on the free model, but I'm already using half of what's called front-end instance time, and that's going to be hard to control. What they're really wanting people to do is design this back-end system, and I think I can do that. So I'm going to be doing that. There's a lot of things, though, that I have to do at this point, which might not make the surface of the site change as quickly as I want. I'm still going to experiment or develop, research and development on these things, but I have to get some control of the system, and I'm going to have to change this. There were people that had $2 a day they were paying for their Google service, Google App Engine, that are up to $60 a day with the new system. And one way to address that is to design a little differently with some shared back-end processes. So, I'm going to do that. It also makes me really concerned, as I always am, about being too devoted to something like Google App Engine or any one solution. And, the cost of, say, $200 a month to just run my own server where I actually have access to the machine and I'm unlimited, it's starting to be more and more sensible, even if I just pay for it myself, so that I can do this in a serious way. Because when you're using other people's hosts, you jump through a lot of hoops, to optimize things the way they want and make trade-offs the way they say, and use their system, and you know, and especially just to have access to the machine. I can have a machine right here and physically have access to it while I'm setting it up, if you know, if need be, or go down to where it's hosted, or you know, even if it's through SSH, you know, you just have more control and it's more power. So you know, I'm thinking of doing that, but it's funny because if I do that, it gets a serious money thing. I don't know how long I could do it just for fun, because there's still a problem of that would only support some number, you know, some few hundred or 1,000 users optimistically, and eventually the costs get, you know, outrun, and we're just going to have to face as a group perhaps whether we want to set something up like this, and how we want to do it, and how it would it has to be sustainable, right? So you know, the Google App Engine seems pretty good, but they've changed it a lot in terms of people wanting to make a website that just can stay free and do marginal kinds of things. They, because of this new way of charging, it doesn't matter how you're not charged on actual CPU time now, but you will be charged on how much time they keep an instance running to answer users that are contacting your website. The cheapest way to do a website is just to have your own computer, so that starts at around a couple $100s a month to just put it somewhere with good internet. So I think I want to go in that direction. I'm going to have to look at how I want to do that and what the sustainability is. So for now, I have this new feature up, and it's semi-experimental in that, well, there's always some experimentation, right? But it's also experimental because of this resource usage. You know, if I run out of resources, and I'm at about a third already of what I can use for free with this front-end instance stuff, you know, we'll just have to face that. So we'll see if this is going to use a lot of resources. But other than that, I should be going in a direction where I'm using resources more efficiently, and I'm going to step up setting up a real server, because that real server could also actually store and serve videos. See, so two birds with one stone. Anyway, cheers, thanks for watching. I know there's not a lot of people interested in watching these things, but maybe that's for the best because of this resource usage stuff. But I do think this particular feature is getting into an area where it's really of use, because it's showing, you know, where the conversation's happening. You know, people can make their own brand new video, great, and you can see that, but I find it of interest to know who's been actually making replies, who's answering who. You know. So, anyway, cheers.